Good Wednesday morning. Thanks for joining us on Kare 11 News Now. I'm Megan McPherson. This morning, the Minneapolis Police Department has a new leader. First Precinct Inspector Bill Peterson, a 30-year veteran of the department, is stepping in as interim chief. He's led multiple units across the department and was officially introduced by Mayor Jacob Frey Tuesday. Peterson says he won't be going after the permanent chief job and will help with the search for those candidates, but he does hope to help guide the department forward while serving in the temporary role.
We are a department in transition. However, the foundation of our department is strong.
He will continue to rebuild our staffing levels, reduce crime, strengthen our relationships with the community when it comes to trust.
Community Safety Commissioner Todd Barnett, who you just heard there, says the city will conduct a nationwide search for a permanent chief. They expect that process will take up to 6 months. Just in this morning, the Minnesota Star-Tribune announces it's cutting 15% of its workforce. The Tribune says this comes as they eye a potential new ownership structure. They say cuts will be made across every department, including the newsroom, which will lose 25 journalists. It was just last year when 125 employees were laid off after closing its downtown Minneapolis printing plant. This morning, Luigi Mangione is back in court for his state case. He's the man accused of killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in New York City. Just a few weeks ago, the judge in this case ruled prosecutors can use a gun and a notebook found in his backpack after his arrest. However, they can't use things that they found on him without a warrant, like a loaded magazine and a cell phone. Mangione's state trial is set for September. Right now, crews are back in northern Minnesota to try to put out the Birch Bay wildfire. It's been burning just north of Ely in the Superior National Forest since Monday afternoon. Officials say it's burned 35 acres so far, but luckily no structures have been destroyed. They say firefighters had a successful day of suppression work and did not see much fire spread. Despite that, officials are expecting another day of near critical fire weather and are reminding the public to stay away from this area. This morning, 3 kids and a bus driver are recovering after a bus crashed into a building on the Hamline University campus. It happened around 2 p.m. yesterday near Hewitt and Snelling Avenue. St. Paul police say a dozen kids were on board from Higher Ground Academy. Witness video shared with Kare 11 shows students and what appeared to be the bus driver being treated by first responders. In that video, police are asking the man why the bus ended up in the building. He says the brakes didn't work. A Hamline student who was in the building at the time described this chaotic scene.
We heard a big boom and the whole building shook. I came down the stairs and there was like a big cloud of smoke or dust. I'm not sure which one it was, but it came shooting at us. We all covered our mouths and ran out.
Police say the bus driver did not show signs of impairment. Everyone is expected to be okay. The school is operating normal today, but the building they crashed into will be closed until further notice. An update this morning out of St. Paul. The city attorney's office says no state charges will be filed in connection with a January protest at City's church. The city attorney says prosecutors determined there wasn't enough evidence for criminal charges. In January, protesters went to the church to speak out against a pastor who works at a local ICE field office. Several protesters are still facing federal felony cases. More delays this morning for the George Floyd Square project. A Minneapolis City Council committee rejected the mayor's proposal to give Minnesota Agape Movement development rights. The People's Way project would have involved replacing the old gas station at 38th and Chicago, turning it into a 6-story building with a cafe and a museum. However, several council members said that's not the plan they or the community supported.
We are concerned that the Minnesota Agape Movement may not have the experience and support for carrying out this proposed project.
The proposal still has to be voted on by the entire council. If they also deny it, the mayor will have to decide whether to veto. This morning, votes are still being counted after the latest round of primaries heading into this fall's midterm elections. Voters in 6 states went to the polls Tuesday, deciding which candidates will face off in several important races. NBC's Chris Pallone has the latest.
This morning, the sprint to this fall's midterm elections is on, and the battles to control Congress and key state leadership positions across the country are taking shape.
California, thank you very much. November, here we come.
In California, where it can take days for all the votes to be counted, it appears former state attorney general Javier Becerra, a Democrat, will finish in the top 2 in the race to succeed Governor Gavin Newsom.
I am ready to lead the fight to uphold California's promise.
His likely opponent, a former TV show host President Trump endorsed Republican Steve Hilton.
Well over 1 million Californians have put their faith in me.
In Los Angeles, Mayor Karen Bass will try to win a second term in a November runoff. Her likely opponent, former reality TV star Spencer Pratt, whose anti-establishment campaign is striking a chord with some voters.
I'm an Angelino who said enough is enough, and I had to step up.
California voters echoing concerns that candidates are hearing across the country.
I care a lot about the environment, I care about foreign policy, I care about affordability, all those things.
This fall, a key battle for control of the House is in New Jersey. Former Navy helicopter pilot Rebecca Bennett will take on Republican incumbent Tom Kean. Kean has been away from the Capitol and out of the public eye for 3 months as he deals with an unspecified medical issue.
I am proud to say that we have won this primary.
The Democrats taking control of the Senate comes down to states like Iowa. With Republican Senator Joni Ernst retiring, state lawmaker Josh Turek hopes to flip the seat from red to blue.
We need a fighter for the people, not for the billionaires, large corporations, and political donors.
President Trump endorsed the winner of the Republican primary, Congresswoman Ashley Hinson. Chris Pallone, NBC News.
This morning, huge fallout at CBS News after 60 Minutes correspondent Scott Pelley gets the boot. His termination comes a day after Pelley confronted the show's new executive producer at a heated staff meeting. NBC News reports 60 Minutes employees have been clashing with CBS editor-in-chief Barry Weiss over the editorial direction. In a new statement, Pelley expressed gratitude for his colleagues, saying, quote, "I pray for the day when those people and their ideals are honored again." New this morning, Allina Health hospice nurses are heading back to the bargaining table. Union leaders are set to sit down with the hospital later today. It comes less than 24 hours after nurses voted to authorize a one-day strike if negotiations don't go well. Union leaders say they are fighting for a better work-life balance, fair caseloads, and holiday pay. This morning, we're getting a first look at one of the largest summer traditions in Minneapolis. The Minneapolis Aquatennial will return for its 87th celebration July 18th through the 26th with new leaders. The city announced the Aquatennial Ambassador Organization will take over after the Minneapolis Downtown Council stepped away from the festival last year. The group is made up of community leaders and volunteers who will oversee the week-long event.
This is an important year. This is not the time for a civic celebration like this to not be thriving, to not be inviting people into Minneapolis. This is an important time. We've seen the resilience of Minneapolis, and you will see that again with the Minneapolis Aquatennial.
Some fan favorites will be returning this summer, including the Torchlight Parade and the Milk Carton Boat Races. Tonight, the Twin Cities kicks off a celebration fit for a king, or should we say a prince. The 5-day party leading up to what would have been the Purple One's 68th birthday, and it all begins with a special concert in Minneapolis. Audrey Russo is outside First Ave with the details.
You can't help but picture the places and the people who inspired his career. Tonight, they're kicking off Prince Week with a culmination of two of those things, a concert at First Avenue by one of his very good lifelong friends, Chaka Khan. Now that's starting at 7 o'clock tonight, and this is really where Prince solidified his artistry. You can see his star over here, right in gold. Now, in preparation of Prince Week, we also heard from some other artists. In fact, a group, a Minneapolis-based choir of 100 vocalists who found their sound as well. Take a listen. Last night, they rehearsed several of Prince's greatest hits at Orchestra Hall, and that's all ahead of Saturday's sing-along as part of the Prince Celebration Block Party. Everyone's invited to go downtown and join them under the iconic Prince mural. Now, between tonight and Saturday, there's a whole host of events honoring the singer. Tomorrow, there's going to be a special screening of Under the Cherry Moon, plus Prince Night at Target Field. Now, back out here at First Avenue for tonight's performance, I did take a look to see if there's any tickets available. There's some resale tickets online, but they're about $300 a pop. Back to you.
A little pricey, but it should be a good time. Stick with us. More news and weather is coming up after the break.